I keep imagining him sitting next to me, not haunting me, just keeping me company. The couch would dip a little under his weight, and he's holding a cup of coffee that he probably doesn't need. He has that look, the one that says he's about to apologize for something that he didn't do. And I'd tell him I watched I Like Me on Prime TV. And Ryan Reynolds produced it, and it made me cry like a baby. Like I'd lost an uncle that I'd never met. And he'd chuckle and say, well, that's Canada for you. And we sneak in and we make you feel things, and then we say we're sorry about it. There's a warmth about him that fills the silence, like background laughter you didn't know you missed. I asked him, or I would ask him, what it's like being remembered. And I think he'd just shrug and be like, hey kid, just make people feel seen. The rest is punchlines. And then, just as quick as he'd come, he'd lean back, take another sip, and disappear, leaving the seat warm, little dented, but yet the room a little bit lighter, right? This is the way forward. You're listening to your host, Better Moody. I'm going to talk about the ghost of Candy, John Candy. Every October, I get the same ghostly feeling, and it's not scary. It's more like nostalgia and maybe high blood sugar. It's a time when I'm eating mini Snickers like I'm 9, and those little corn candies, right? The yellow, white, and orange at the bottom, where you bite each section off separate. I don't know why. It's not even good. It's just OCD. You just gotta bite off those colored sections on the line. But this is the season that we are in. And, it was around the 80s that I recall. There was just a vibe and a warmth, a community, and John Candy was one of those people who contributed to that. Catherine O'Hara, Chevy Chase, or others, to name a few. But, this man's name, it was literally Candy. And how ironic he was born on Halloween. Maybe it wasn't ironic, but it's like the universe had jokes, right? He was Canada's gift to human decency. A 6-foot tall teddy bear who could make you laugh and then somehow make you feel guilty about laughing because he looked so sincere doing it. And he made you feel seen and important. They called him Johnny Toronto sometimes, and it was his alter ego. And I'm jealous. What Beyonce has, Sasha Fierce. Seems like all the cool kids have an alter ego. I mean, I guess I'm Better Moody, but I don't know if that's like a superhero power or anything. I go through moods. I have mood swings, But he was the cool guy. Johnny Toronto was the cool guy that Candy wished he was. And honestly, we've all done maybe the Johnny Toronto thing. We all put a cape on sometimes and try to fly. But we want to be the confident version of ourselves before we walk into a room full of people who might not get us. I remember wearing gloves one time, going to, I think it was a junior benefit is what we called it. It wasn't prom, junior benefit. I went to a private school. And I remember turning my arm up like I was smoking some fake cigarette, and just walking with poise. And that got me through. Like just role playing is so hot. It's so where it's at. But you put on that confident version of yourself before walking into a room full of people who might not get you. And then, Candy just made a career out of that. He turned his awkwardness into gold. So, and I think what's beautiful about him as a person is that they kept saying he is an everyman, but I think in all of our hearts, we are that person. You know, we're shy, and maybe we lack confidence or we doubt ourselves from time to time. So yeah, his characters were chaotic, but they weren't cruel. That's what's missing now, I think, is some comedy with heart. We got clever people, we got ironics out there. But where's the guy who trips on a suitcase and somehow restores your faith in humanity? I don't know. Halloween is where we're at right now, and I'll be honest. I mean, there's some amazing things to it, but I feel like we're flying through it. I'm not really connecting with it. My favorite holiday happens to be Christmas, but I see and I feel the joy in scaring people out of their skin. And that's the spirit of Halloween. Try on something outrageous and just have fun. Imagine yourself as something beyond who you are. So anyway, I imagine being a kid in the 80s, watching shows like The Great Outdoors, and seeing this big guy in a flannel yelling about a bear. I think I realized that comedy can be kind. You don't have to be cruel to be funny. You just have to be human. And that's funny because I was thinking about that earlier. I was like, everybody's like, oh, you got to be relatable. You got to say stuff that people can connect with. And I'm like, yeah. But I see that's why I'm not a superstar comedian, because I'd be like, oh, who is it? The cable guy or something? No, it was Joe Dirt. No, the redneck dude. Who is that? Larry. Anyway. You know what I'm talking about. One of those guys where they're like, you might be a redneck if. And I'm like, you might be a human if you breathe. You might be a human if you ate food today. I mean, like, that's the extent of my slapstick humor. Pretty amazing, right? I go deep. I go real deep. But that's where I'm at. So... but the point being, like, it doesn't have to be curse words. It doesn't have to be horrible sexual motifs. And there was a guy that I dated. Here we go. And he said he was just a riot. And it's funny how people walk around and they're like, I am so fucking funny. And I know I just cursed, but just bear with me. But, it's funny. I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's see what you got. There's the stage. It's the floor right in front of us. Go ahead and stand up, get in it, and grab the mic. The mic being your hand, I guess. And this guy, I was so embarrassed for him. And it was just me and him. He commenced to tell me some story. And I'm not saying that I could have done any better, but if you're going to boast about it, you got to be about it, right? And he got up front and he was like, yeah. And then I splooged on this girl's face. And I was just like, whoa, guy, what are we talking about? And see, that's where people go. They're like, oh, that's funny. This is funny. Why aren't you laughing? I'm like, no, bro. Could you imagine if John Candy went that route? Oh, no. Oh my God. But that's where the world is. I'm like, we need to respawn. Did someone like cryogenically freeze any bit of his DNA? Like John Candy? Because we need more of that in the world. But anyway, so I watched that film and bawled like a baby. And the film, in and of itself, what was it, on Prime? Yeah. It's not a fluff piece. It's tender. It's tender. Like chicken tenders. It shows the toll of anxiety and self-doubt. And how many of you are people pleasers out there? I think I am at my core, and I fight it. I fight it like a demon slayer. I try to say no. Say no. Say no more often. But the fact that being loved doesn't always mean that you love yourself is heavy. So Ryan Reynolds narrates it like he's writing a thank you letter across time. Dear John, I get it. You smile through the panic too, right? I had to look it up because I was like, man, he did, and then I know it was a team, but I'm thinking to myself, he did such a good job. There has to be a connection there. Like they have Macaulay Culkin, I think that's his name, on there, and all the people that he worked with in the industry, kind of giving their testimony, Bill Murray, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like, okay, how does Ryan Reynolds know him? Turns out, nope. No connection other than through his art and the works that he'd experienced. And so I just want, I don't know, a celebrity may never hear this, but I just want they may know this. But not only are you popular, but you impact people as though you are family, and you really get into their core sense of being and shape their futures. I mean, you really have a hand in that whole butterfly effect. You change the course of people's lives. So, and that's what John Candy did. And that's probably what Ryan Reynolds is doing for someone else. You know, the fact that he would pay, even though, I mean, so got it, Deadpool and everything like that, but the man has heart, I'm sure. And he connected with this individual, and that perpetuates. So it's like you pay it forward, right? All the people that you work with, you influence them. You don't realize your impact overall. And it may be minimal on your end, but it means the world to someone else. So just remembering that. Just like the germs that you pass on in Halloween candy and the far-reaching spread that it has. Likewise, your influence impacts lives beyond the scope of what you may ever see or know. Because not everybody gets a documentary, you know what I'm saying? But that one was really nice. So, the title, I Like Me, because I do like me. I thought that was so good. It hit because, I guess the common thread, they went back to a specific scene, which I don't recall at all. And now I have to watch planes, trains, and automobiles, I think. But Candy's character says, I like me. My wife likes me. So it was like, it was something that we've probably used in conversations in life and didn't even realize that we were referencing this moment. Because I know I have. There have been some moments where people just go hard, try to annihilate you, you know, in person, your character, try to destroy you to your face until you're not worth shit. But then you're like, you know what? What did my mom tell me? Oh, wait, Mom had a saying. Hang on a second, I gotta recall. Okay, I had to reach out, and yeah, there was a total pause happening right there. I was like, where in the world did this phrase come from? It has nothing to do with 80s, nothing, because my mom is an eclectic. But apparently, Benjamin Disraeli, the 19th century British Prime Minister, had a turn of phrase, something about, I will not be intoxicated by the exuberance of your verbosity. But it's a twist on what he said. But this is a saying that my mom would say. Also found in the Scarlet Pimpernel, 1934. I'm like, Mom, who are you? I mean, she's not like ancient. She might be recycled though, you know. She might be 200 years old. But yeah, this came from my mama. And, but those sayings, those phrases, they stick with us. They shape culture, right? I like me. My wife likes me. Easy. It's a self-acceptance monologue, and one of the best and the easiest to recall. So it's not a brand, it's not a filter, no. It's just some dude saying, listen, you may not like me, I like me, and that's good enough for me. And everybody needs that. Everybody needs to remember that. But yeah, it was nice to see those clips. And it was almost like, for me, it was an experience because I knew John Candy was awesome, but I mean, I was kind of too young to really pay full attention. It was kind of like Elvis. I was like, I mean, everybody thinks he's awesome, but he seems like just a dude. So then I went and listened to some of his interviews, and I was like, oh, yeah, that man had some charisma. So, yeah. Yeah. So anyway, when I say the ghost of candy, I don't mean candles and Ouija boards, and I mean the decency that still lingers when we're tempted to be cynical, and the ghost that shows up when somebody makes a genuine joke in the world of full of punchlines, or when a stranger helps you push your car out of the snow and then makes a dumb joke that somehow saves your mood. I love that. So that's the ghost of Candy. And he died at 43. I'm 43. Filming a Western in Mexico. He was too young. But here we are, decades later, still quoting him, still craving his warmth. Yes, this warmth. And I hope it lasts through the remainder of this year. And I continue to draw on that. I'm also hoping to win the lottery, publish a book, and win the lottery of publishing. And if there's any other way, like maybe the continuing resolution will be passed so I can actually get paid while I'm thinking of these lofty goals. So that's the warmth. John Candy, spread your spirit across the nation. Please come back. Anyway, so this is Halloween. Not really. Eat the candy. Watch the old movies, laugh without irony, and then remember, ghosts only stick around for things that matter. And candy matters. So does John Candy. Candy matters. That is all that I have. This is the way forward. And again, you've been listening to Better Moody.